Welcome back to part 3 of my Zbutt series. In this video, we'll use everything we learned in the last 2 videos and create a keycap. This will include making the mold and then the resin casting. So I have 2 examples here, one of my clay sculpts, which is on a sculpting base, and a blank cherry profile keycap, which I'm putting on a master base. Once you've got your keycaps on the bases, get your no-hassle container and insert both of the bases. Try to make sure that they're level. I like to wrap a rubber band around it just to make sure that the fit isn't loose. After that, you're finally ready to mix your silicone and pour. I'm using Moldstar 30 here. Try to pour a tall, narrow stream so that you can minimize the amount of air bubbles. I'm drizzling some silicone over my clay sculpt on the parts that I know might get air bubbles stuck in it, so I'm basically pre-filling it. Great, that's looking good. Now all that we have to do is put it in the pressure pot. So it's been about 12 hours and let's demold. You can tear off some of the excess silicone. I like using a small blade to help clean up some of the edges. Don't use too much force here, I would just try to get all 4 corners loose before you try pulling it out. Looks like some silicone got under the keycap, you can throw that away. Let's pull out the master keycap and clean up the mold. And with that, the bottom mold is done. Now let me show you how to make the top mold. So to start, let's take our cloned stem cavities and put them in the no hassle container. Don't forget to have your reservoir toppers nearby too. Next, let's mix our silicone. After thoroughly mixing, you're going to want to start by pre-filling the stems. I do this by dipping a toothpick into the silicone and then inserting it into the stem to help push out any air. Once your stems are pre-filled, you can put the reservoir topper on top of the stems. The last step is to pour your silicone into the container. I know I have a terrible camera angle here, but just aim for a consistent spot and let it flow naturally into the mold. The amount you want to fill it up to is about the halfway point of the reservoir topper. Make sure you don't submerge it. Once you're done pouring, this is what it should look like. Now we just wait and let it cure. And we're back. I let mine cure overnight in the pressure pot, and now we can finally demold. I usually start by cleaning it up with a blade to cut off the excess silicone. It should tear off pretty easily. After that, I usually take a popsicle stick to help pry off the reservoir topper. I'm using as little force as possible so I don't snap off these sprues. Once the reservoir topper is off, you can start to pry the corners loose very gently. And there you go, that's the top part of the mold that we need to cast a keycap. Now that we have both parts of our mold, all we have to do now is mix some resin. Once your resin is well mixed, you can pour it into the mold. Then take your top piece and gently lower it into the bottom piece. Don't force it since you don't want to introduce air into the mold. I like to give it a slight wiggle just to make sure that it's nice and snug. And as you can see, the excess resin is being trapped in the reservoir. And with that, we're basically done. All we have to do is let it cure now. So here are my results. Let's demold the cherry profile keycap. I think it looks pretty good. To separate it from the base, all you need to do is get flush cutters and cut each of the corners. Just make sure to not cut the silicone. And that's it. We've successfully created a resin copy of our keycap. After all of this, just make sure to clean up your molds a little bit, and then you're ready to cast again and again. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope my Zbutt V2 series was helpful. If you enjoy my content, please consider liking this video, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to my channel. And as always, feel free to leave any comments or questions down below. I'll catch you in another video. See ya.